Hello everyone, Weather Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Saturday evening, December 21, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons who are in the path of the tropical systems so that we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak months of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Please ensure that you guys utilize the progress bar at the bottom of the video, as well as utilize the timestamps that are located in the comment section as well as the video description, so that you can skip to the point in the video that you want to see the most in order to save time, because you know that the videos over here with the Jamaica can be very long. Leave a comment down below letting me know what that's been like in your area recently. Also, feel free to ask any weather related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so before we take a look at what the Euro and the GFS supercomputer models are showing, we need to highlight this post that was made on our Twitter page today. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica, but they're also made on our Instagram page at weather.jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So it was stated here, it is Saturday, December 21, 2024, the first day of winter and the shortest day of the year. Winter marks the transition from autumn to spring. The days are the shortest, temperatures are the coolest, and most of the rainfall occurs in northern Jamaica while the south remains dry. And we've definitely been seeing that happening for sure since the month of December began. Since the month began, we've already been encountering meteorological winter, but now winter has officially begun. And we all know the reasons why we have seasons in general. It states here, we experience seasons because the earth rotates on its axis that's tilted in its orbit. That 23.5 degree tilt causes the different hemispheres to be at different angles to the sun at different times of year. Excuse me. So we can see that we're in a winter now, and we're going to be entering spring by around March 21. So that's when you know the hot temperatures are going to be returning. Won't even wait for summer, just like earlier this year. We saw that it was definitely hot as we headed into March for sure. So who knows, we might just get in on some more situations like this, given the fact that we're still undergoing climate change and global warming. If we take a look at the Euro supercomputer model forecast for the next 168 hours, so keep your eyes focused on the timestamp right here. Keep your eyes focused on the Caribbean right here, as well as Jamaica right here. And look out for the rainfall that we see in inches as represented by the key on the right. So let's go out in time. So we're going out to the next 168 hours. Alright, so we see that there's going to be a lot of moisture, especially to the south of Jamaica. The greens into the yellows that represents 1 to 5, maybe all the way up into the 6, maybe 8 inches of rainfall range. This is 6th day on Sunday, which is actually 1 a.m. And the thing is, we can already see the activity starting to take shape to the south of us. Look at all of these high cold cloud tops. There's definitely some amount of thunderstorm activity to the south of Jamaica, and we can see that the upper level wind shear is pushing all of those high cold cloud tops, if not cirrus clouds, off towards the northeast, and there's gonna be more of that taking place. As we can see, as we head into Sunday, the rainfall should still be for the most part to the south of us. Some of this rainfall could definitely spill into Jamaica, if not the overcast skies brought about by the upper level wind shear blowing those cloud tops off to the northeast. But look at this, Monday, we start to see more greens coming into portion of Jamaica. 12Z on Monday is actually 7 a.m. We see the rainfall right there on the Euro. It's even more robust as we head into Tuesday. We see the rainfall circling the island for sure. Wednesday, we see something similar. And then as we head into Thursday, We see that for the most part the rainfall is to our west, but we can still get some amount of isolated shower activity. Friday we still see some rainfall in and around us, and we're going to be stopping it right there. Excuse me. Alright, so this is valid for 12Z on Saturday, December 28th. This is 7 a.m. and we can see the rainfall stretching from the eastern Caribbean to the south of Puerto Rico and Hispaniola to the south of Jamaica for the most part. We see some rainfall especially across northern Jamaica. Let us see what the next 7 days are showing on the GFS model. So we just looked at the Euro run that came out at 3:30 p.m. today. Now we're going to be looking at the GFS that just came out an hour ago at 6 p.m. So clearly we can see the moisture that's already there to the south of the island as represented by the greens. As we continue on Sunday, we see the rainfall. Now let's go back. Sunday right here, we see the rainfall still to the south of us for the most part, but we can't rule out some isolated showers across sections of some northern parishes given the northeasterly flow that we're still going to be encountering. But as we head into Monday now, even more moisture coming into portion of the island, especially on the northeastern side. Look at the dark shades of greens right there, especially across Portland. Into Tuesday, we see that it is even more robust. Well, this is 0 on Tuesday, which is actually 7 p.m. on Monday, and we see the moisture in and around the island. We still see it encircling the island by 1 a.m. on Tuesday, and we see that all across the island by 0 on Wednesday, which is actually 7 p.m. on Tuesday. So we're definitely going to be in for some amount of rainfall. Wednesday, something similar. Thursday, definitely less rainfall, but rainfall is there. And Friday, we see that there's going to be some lingering isolated showers. And we're going to be stopping it right there. 18Z on Saturday, December 28th. And we can see the similarities and we can see the differences. Well, we see more differences at the end of the next 7 days than similarities. We're seeing the moisture that's stretching from the eastern Caribbean, but it's more so squashed to the southern portion of the Caribbean than closer to the south coast of Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, and Jamaica right there. And we can actually make out the moisture associated with a frontal system across the southern United States, Louisiana, Mississippi, all the way down into Texas. We can make it out on the GFS model right here. And if we take a look at the accumulated precipitation forecast maps for the next 7 days, what are both of them showing that are showing in similarities? Let us see what's going on right here. We know the dark reds into the purples and the pinks are the rainfall amounts that we should be concerned about, and we see a lot of that across sections of the Cayman Islands, the southwestern Caribbean, northern Honduras, eastern Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama, sections of Colombia, western Venezuela right there, stretching into portions of eastern Cuba, the Bahamas, sections of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, even portions of Puerto Rico might be getting in on some of the action. And we see that the GFS model is showing something similar, especially right there across the southwestern Caribbean, where we're seeing the pinks into the peach colors that represents 4 to 7 inches of rainfall, as we can see by the key on the right. And if we take a close-up of Jamaica, we can see what's expected over the next 7 days. Look at all of these greens into the yellows that we know represent anywhere from 15 to maybe 40 millimeters of rainfall, and we see that most of that is especially going to be taking place across northern Jamaica. And look at the most rainfall that's expected. We see that for sections of Portland for sure, maybe eastern St. Thomas too. We see the oranges into the pinks that represents 50 all the way up to maybe 90 millimeters of rainfall. This is actually a lot of rainfall for sure, if it actually verifies on the time period that is taking place during Christmas week. Guys, we don't normally get activity during this time of year, to be honest. I've been doing this records keeping for a long time, and usually when it's Christmas, we don't get much rainfall. If there's gonna be rainfall, it's usually on the north coast, but it looks like it's gonna be affecting sections of some southern parishes too. We see those areas shaded, if not in blue, in greens, some areas even in yellow and oranges across Kingston and St. Andrew according to this Euro model. We will see exactly what unfolds, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs. Excuse me. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see this blue spike line right here stretching all the way from northern portion of North Atlantic all the way down across the Bahamas, Cuba, and the western or northwestern Caribbean associated with a cold front. Broken orange lines right here associated with a trough leading into the northern portion of Hispaniola. Another frontal system right here stretching all the way from northern section of North Atlantic down to the northern main development region. We can see the H that we know represents a ridge of high pressure, another one right here, that we know are responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can make out all of these entities. The clouds associated with the trough now pushing eastward to the north of Puerto Rico. The clouds associated with that frontal system right here stretching all the way down into portion of the northwestern Caribbean right there. And we can make out the flow of the low level clouds being pushed from east to west, all courtesy of that easterly flow of wind brought about by the ridge of high pressure. And we can even see the upper level flow. Look at that strong upper level flow blowing those high cold cloud tops, if not the cirrus clouds, off towards the northeast. This is what making it very difficult for tropical systems to form. And we can tell it is swirly right there. Look at this. Some kind of air of low pressure right there to the west of the Azores Island right here. Very interesting. But according to the Hurricane Center, nothing in terms of activity or tropical activity at all. It's just basically an air of low pressure in the subtropical region. Nothing tropical in nature at all. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean weather later on. And let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Saturday, December 21, 2024. It was stated that parts of some northern parishes would have received some morning rainfall on Saturday, and that section of some southern parishes would have received some afternoon rainfall. I know northern Jamaica, we're talking about Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland, while southern Jamaica, we're talking about Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? As early as around 7:31 a.m., the visible satellite image was posted here on our Twitter page and our other social media platforms. And we can see here that the visible close-up satellite imagery was highlighting clouds across northern Jamaica, if you can make them out. Yes, we have some high cold cloud tops or some cirrus clouds across the entire island, making it difficult to see these low-level clouds, but we're definitely getting on the action, especially across Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne, section of St. James, Hanover for sure, maybe even section of Trelawney. Got on some of the overcast skies, if not some amount of isolated showers. And if we take a look at the visible satellite images of Jamaica, before all was said and done with the day, we can see that even during the afternoon, we're still getting on that northeasterly flow, bringing some overcast skies and some isolated showers into section of Portland, St. Mary, St. Anne right there. But we didn't see much activity across southern Jamaica, even although we got on some cloudy conditions across section of southern St. Elizabeth at one point before the day was done. Clearly, we can see some clouds right here to the northwest of Hanover, some clouds right here to the southeast of St. Thomas, but that's basically it. If we take a look at the infrared close-up satellite images now, look at those colors. These high cold cloud tops, these are some thunderstorm clouds, which indicate that there are some amount of thunderstorm activity taking place to the south of us. That would explain why these clouds are being sheared off quickly towards the northeast. So we're definitely dodging a lot of activity to our south. But the flow, the real flow, is from the northeast as we speak. So don't look at those clouds to the south of us, but that doesn't mean that we can't get in on some of these clouds pushing in from the southwest to the northeast, bringing us some overcast skies, if not some light rainfall. If we take a look at the Crossroads cam, by the way, I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to see more live streams like this, Crossroads, Halfway Tree, Barbican, the Kingston Harbor, as well as Flatbridge, just visit See Jamaica on YouTube. They have these cameras for our viewing pleasure, and they're planning on increasing the amount of cameras that they have in and around the island. So subscribe to their channel today so that you don't miss out. Alright, so taking a look at the Crossroads cam, we can see that not much was taking place in terms of bad weather. Definitely sunny skies across Crossroads at this time, 3:19 p.m. today. And we can see some clouds as usual, definitely encompassing the hills of northern St. Andrew. This is nothing new. They're definitely used to it. We don't even see any rainfall up there at all. Just some thick grey clouds. That's basically it. If we take a look at the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website, we can see that the most in the way of rainfall was definitely across section of some northern parishes, as we can make out these purple colors that represent where the rainfall took place. And we definitely have some comments here on our Instagram page confirming where we had rainfall today. Well, at least one comment from Sapphire Willie _Marsh _29 and stating raining in Montego Bay, and this was posted 9 hours ago, and we're indeed getting on the overcast skies over there. We also have Nadine God Bless 82 confirming the conditions across the south. We didn't get on much activity across the south today, so she confirmed stating thank you for your hard work, Mr. Weatherman. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you very much for being a follower. I'm getting some sunshine here in Sligoville, Spanish Town, so off with the washing. Very good. We even have Cardi D stating overcast skies in Portmore 2 hours ago on our Twitter page. And we can see the clouds. All of this that we see is the cirrus clouds, and we see a lot of it pushing from southwest to northeast. Wouldn't be surprised if we wake up tomorrow to some cloudy skies. Alright. So we're gonna be looking at the latest still image. What's happening right now? The latest still image just came out at 0015 UTC, so that's about 7:15. So this just came out, considering that it's 7:22 p.m. now. So this just came out 7 minutes ago, and we can make out the cold cloud tops, the blues into the greens, the yellows. Don't think that that's rainfall. If anything, the rainfall is towards south, and the cloud tops are being sheared off towards the northeast. And we have the Cuban Doppler radar right here to confirm. Taking a look right here, reloading the images that were the very latest. The very latest is as of 7:10 p.m. And where do we see the greens represent rainfall? Right here toward northwest, just like what we saw earlier. Right here to the northwest of Hanover. We definitely spoke about that on the visible satellite imagery for sure. Let us see if we can actually see it. It's somewhere right in here. It's pushing off to the southwest. And if we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban naval radar imagery, not seeing much of anything across Haiti, Cuba, or Jamaica right now. But if we take a look at the Cayman radar, we can see some rainfall right here to the south of Grand Cayman. Wanted to see if we could make out that rain band to the northwest of Hanover. Not seeing it at all. Let's see if we reload the images. Maybe we can see. Can we see it? Can we make it out? I don't think we can see, but we can see a string of showers right here to the south of the Cayman Islands though. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 25 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston, and by about 4 a.m. on Sunday, temperature should dip down to about 24 degrees Celsius in both Montego Bay and Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map here from the GFS is valid for 18th on Sunday. When calculated, that's about 1 p.m. on Sunday, and we can see Jamaica right here embedded in gray color. In that gray color that we know represents what we see on the key here on the right. 0, so it's not representing the yellows into the oranges and the reds. That represents above normal temperatures, and it's not showing blues into the greens that represents below normal temperatures. So we're smack dab in the middle, getting average or normal temperatures for the month of December. And what are the average temperatures for the month of December? Are basically around 87 degrees Fahrenheit, and when this is calculated to Celsius, that's around 30.6 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving that for Jamaica's temperature on Sunday, 30 degrees Celsius at most. And we are pleased to announce that my JPS Online still hasn't posted anything in terms of any maintenance outages that are going to be taking place, because we know that if we're going to be getting power outages, it might definitely make the heat even worse, considering that we don't have our fan or our AC to cool us down. So we're indeed grateful that they're not, having any scheduled maintenance outage advisories during this Christmas season. Either way, if tomorrow is going to be a bit too hot for you, we have some tips here to beat the heat. As usual, you know the drill. When you're outside, seek shade, eat fresh, try eating cold food such as salads and fruit. Rest, make sure you get enough sleep, and rest if you're feeling tired. Soak, take a cool shower or bath to help you cool down. Keep hydrated, drink lots of water. I cannot stress how important this is enough. Put away the sugary drinks, drink water instead. If we take a look at the dry air map, we know the dry air is represented by what we see here on the key on the bottom. The yellows, the oranges, the reds, and the whites within those reds. And we can see a lot of dry air across the main development region, the northern portion of North Atlantic, all the way into the western Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico, right here off the east coast of the US. Lots of dry air, and we know the dry air can definitely make it difficult for moisture or rainfall to take place. And we see a lot of moist air across the Caribbean in general, especially to the south of Jamaica. Unfortunately, it looks like this plume of Saharan dust might just make it to the Caribbean before all is said and done with December. If we remember, this dark shade was closer to Africa. Now it's definitely pushing from east to west, and this is where it's going to be by 2 p.m. on Sunday. We see that some of it is starting to come into portion of the leeward and the well, more so the windward islands than the leeward islands for sure. And we don't want to see this dark shade of brown. That's what you know is basically the vigorous plume that can cause very hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of respiratory illnesses in some persons, asthma, sinusitis, and so forth. So hopefully the ridge of high pressure that's sending all of this to the west, more than likely, or hopefully all of this dwindles down, dissipates down to the light shades of browns. That's what we want to see. We don't want the vigorous plume at all. If you take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we're indeed grateful that we're seeing more on the sides of lighter shades of blues, the slightly dark shades of blues. We're talking about 0.5 for meter wave heights, all the way up to 1.5 meter wave heights. We can see to the north of Jamaica up to 0.9 of a meter wave height, 1.2 meter wave height on the south coast, and that's because the winds across the Caribbean not gonna be that strong at all. We see 5 to 10, maybe all the way up to 15 knots with the greens, more from east-southeasterly flow across the eastern Caribbean, curving westward and curving southward across the southwestern Caribbean, more from northeasterly flow across the greater Antilles into the western Caribbean and the eastern Gulf of Mexico right here. And regarding the close-up of the winds across Jamaica, we can see that we're still in for that northeasterly flow from that windward passage. So, you know, we might still get some more rainfall across sections of some northern parishes with that relief for rainfall for sure. And then during the afternoon, we can rule out some activity across sections of some southern parishes when we have that daytime heating. We've always talked about that wherever we have the least amount of wind, that's where all the air could pile up, and then we get a brief isolated afternoon shower. Even though we didn't get that today, maybe it could definitely take place on Sunday. If you take a look at the upper level winds, we still see the upper level winds, that pattern coming in from the southwest for sure. And this is valid for ATNZ on Sunday, 1 p.m. on Sunday. We're still getting in on that strong upper level flow from the southwest, and we're already seeing that. Look at the clouds being pushed off towards the northeast, so that might make way for more overcast skies. Who knows, maybe some of these clouds might have a drizzle or two in there for some of us. We'll see exactly what unfolds. Either way, in terms of the rainfall forecast maps now, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are both showing all the rainfall that's expected at around 6 a.m. on Sunday. And what do both of them show? There's going to be some blues that represent rainfall across sections of St. Anne, St. Mary, Portland for sure, northern Jamaica in general. You can also see that by 4 p.m. we're getting in on some blues that represent rainfall, but where? Across sections of some eastern parishes. So maybe section of St. Thomas, Portland, and section of some southern parishes. So maybe section of St. Elizabeth, Manchester, maybe even sections of Clarendon and St. Catherine. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and I'll definitely be here to keep you posted with what occurs during the afternoon. Even the accumulated precipitation forecast maps are in consensus that the most endurance of rainfall should be plaguing eastern or northeastern parishes. The Euro showing up to 0.22 of an inch of rainfall across Portland. The GFS showing up to 0.29 of an inch of rainfall across Portland. We'll see exactly what unfolds, and we know that it is the dry season. It is the dry season, and we know that in the month of December, In Kingston, we usually receive up to 25 millimeters of rainfall. That's about an inch of rainfall. In Montego Bay, we usually receive close to 4 inches of rainfall. That's about 90 millimeters of rainfall. And I'd like for you to keep in mind that if you'd like to find out what your specific patch usually receives for the month of December, you can visit weatherandclimate.com and they will show you that information. And you can use this nice graphic right here that we use to convert rainfall from inches to millimeters. And that 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. Alright, so that's it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have a lot of clouds bringing some shower activity to the south of Jamaica, heading into portion of Costa Rica, Panama, Colombia, getting in on some of the action. So too section of Puerto Rico, Hispaniola, getting in on a lot of thunderstorm activity. We can see that flow across the eastern Caribbean right there. They might be getting in on some isolated shores as we speak. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, let us see what's happening down there in and around Puerto Rico right now. We see some isolated shores across eastern Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, the waters to the south of Puerto Rico, eastern Dominican Republic. And if we load these images from earlier today, we can see that we're indeed getting on some rainfall across section of Antigua and Barbuda. We see that flow coming in from the southeast for sure. Taking a look at the Barbados radar, not seeing much activity across the Grenadines, Grenada, Tobago, or Barbados, but we do see some isolated shores in and around St. Vincent, section of St. Lucia, east of Martinique, coming into section of Dominica as we speak. And if we take a look at the wide view of Doppler radar images, we can see that flow from the north to the south to the east of Belize with some isolated shores heading into Honduras. We can also make out some rainfall across sections of Colombia too. And regarding where the rainfall is expected within the next 24 hours, this map from the Euro and this map from the GFS are showing all the rainfall that's expected from now up until 10 p.m. on Sunday, and we see the most rainfall in the purples and the pinks according to the Euro and the GFS across section of northwestern Panama, section of Costa Rica. You can also see some rainfall across sections of northern Honduras, southeastern Belize, northeastern Guatemala right there. We can also make out some rainfall across sections of Colombia, western and southern Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname, French Guyana getting on some of the action too. So too sections of maybe some isolated shores, maybe across section of Trinidad. Not seeing much activity across Barbados, St. Lucia or Martinique. Well, yeah, St. Vincent or St. Lucia, but we definitely see some activity, maybe a few isolated shores across section of Martinique, Dominica, Guadeloupe, Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts and Nevis, sections of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Haiti, the Dominican Republic. And we see that both the Euro and the GFS models are in consensus with this forecast. I know that when they're in consensus like this, the chances of it actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.